This is the GE Profile ClearView window air conditioner unit. I've been using this for a while now, so I figured I'd share some thoughts, like the stuff I noticed living with it day to day, not just reading the box. The main reason I tried this one is the shape. It's that U-shaped style where the window comes down in the middle, and the noisy heavy part sits more outside. In my place, that immediately changed the vibe compared to a normal window AC. With the old box-style unit I had before, the window basically became a wall for the whole summer. With this, I still get light through the window, and I can still open and close it. I didn't think I'd care as much as I do, but it's honestly nice, not feeling like the window is gone for months. Cooling-wise, this is the 8300 BTU model, and it's been enough for the kind of space it claims. I'm using it for a medium room, and it can actually pull the temperature down without running non-stop. On hot days, it takes a bit to really catch up if the room starts off warm, but once it gets there, it holds pretty steady. What I like is the air coming out from the top. It doesn't blast straight at me the way my old unit did, so I don't get that cold wind on my face when I'm sitting nearby. It pushes air upward, and it kind of falls into the room more evenly. Noise is a big part of why people look at this one. On the quiet setting, it's genuinely easy to live with. I can sleep with it on, and I'm picky about that. It's not silent, but it's more like a steady air sound instead of that rattly compressor noise I'm used to from cheaper window units. When you crank the fan up, you definitely hear it, but it still doesn't have that harsh vibration sound my old AC had when the compressor kicked on. One thing I did notice over time though, you'll sometimes hear water movement because it has a built-in pump. It's not constant, but every so often there's a little gurgle or quick mechanical sound when it's moving condensation out. It didn't bother me, but if you're extremely sensitive to random little noises at night, that's something to know. Setup is where I had the most mixed feelings. It's doable, but it's not the simple drop it in the window and shut the window situation. This thing is heavy. Mine is around 65 pounds, and the weight is awkward because part of it sits outside. I wouldn't install it alone. I got it in place with help, and I'm glad I did, because you're trying to hold it steady while also lining things up so the window drops into the center properly. The window size fit was fine for me, but you do need to measure like a normal person would because it wants a window opening height that's tall enough, and it fits a certain width range. Also, the depth adjustment is real. My windowsill isn't super deep, and I had to adjust the unit so it sat correctly. Once it's in, it feels secure, but getting to that point took more time than a basic unit. Daily use has been straightforward. I mostly use the remote, and I like that I don't have to get up to change the temp. The touch controls on the unit work fine too, but at night, they're kind of hard to see because the buttons aren't lit. The display will dim down, which I actually prefer in a bedroom, but if you're trying to tap the controls in the dark, it can be a little annoying until you memorize where everything is. The Wi-Fi stuff is helpful if you'll actually use it. I didn't expect to care, but I ended up liking being able to change settings from my phone. If I'm out, and I know I'll be home soon, I can turn it on early. It's also nice when I'm already in bed and don't want to reach for the remote. One note, like a lot of home devices, it plays nicer with a 2.4 GHz network. So if your Wi-Fi setup is finicky, you might have to mess with it for a minute. Power use has been fine in the sense that it doesn't feel like it's destroying my electric bill compared to other window units I've had, but it's still an air conditioner. If you run it hard all day, you're going to feel it. I do use eco mode sometimes, mostly when I just want it to maintain a temp without running the fan constantly. It works, but you'll notice the fan cycling on and off more. The filter situation is easy. It comes out quickly, I rinse it, let it dry, and put it back. If you've ever owned a window AC where the filter is a pain, you'll appreciate that. If you let it go too long, you can tell the airflow starts to feel weaker, so cleaning it actually makes a difference. Compared to a normal window AC, this one feels less obnoxious in the room. The inside portion doesn't stick out as much, and I don't feel like I'm living next to a big metal box. Compared to a portable AC, I'd take this any day if you can use a window unit, because portables I've owned were louder and didn't cool as well for the power they used. The trade-off is the install is more involved than both a basic window unit and a portable. If you're wondering who this is good for, I'd say it makes the most sense if you're putting it in a bedroom, a home office, or any room where noise and light matter. If you like having the window still feel like a window, that's probably the main practical reason to get this style. If you just want the cheapest way to cool a room and you don't care about sound or your window being blocked, a regular window AC will do the job for less money and usually with a simpler install. My biggest downside is still the install and the wait. Once it's in, it's great. Getting it in is the part you want to plan for. Also, the little pump noises are real, even though it's still quieter overall than most units I've used. So yeah, I've been happy with it, and I'd recommend it if you want a quieter window unit and you don't want to give up your whole window for the season, and you're okay putting a little extra effort into setup. If you've got questions about fit, noise, or how it's been day to day, drop them in the comments and I'll try to help. Subscribe to the channel if you want more reviews like this, and leave a comment with what room you're planning to use it in. Thank you for watching.